Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. Mile 22, let's just jump right into it. Mile 22 follows Mark Wahlberg, who is again directed by Peter Berg. This time around, he's sort of the lead of a tactical command unit headed by the US government. They get themselves in a bit of a sticky situation when a few major bombs go missing. They don't know the locations of them, but they need to find them. In comes in actor Iko Uwais, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, you guys can correct me, who has a disc containing the locations and whereabouts of these bombs, promising to hand over the code to the disc. In return, he wants asylum and be sent to the United States. Mark Wahlberg and his team must now carry this man 22 miles to safety, so in return they can save these 6 cities from being bombed. And that's all pretty much to say without giving any spoilers to you guys. This is a spoiler-free review. I'm just gonna tell you what I liked about the film, what I didn't like, hit you with a rating system just like this one, breaking down the elements of the film and giving you a final ranking. Real quick before going into the review, guys, I want to say thank you for clicking on this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and also let me know what's your favorite Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg combination. You've got Patriots Day, Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, and now Mile 22. I'm gonna give you my rank at the end of this review, so let me know yours in the comment section down below. I gotta admit, with Mile 22, there wasn't really anything capturing me from the trailer. Nothing stood out to me but Iko Uwais. Again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but mainly because he comes from the Raid movies. And if you have seen those movies, you can expect nothing but greatness. And that little tease in the trailer of him in that fight scene with the doctors in that medical room, I'm buying a ticket just to see what happens there. Now, the combination of Peter Berg with Mark Wahlberg has been a successful one in the past. I haven't minded the past movies with him, but this is the one where it's a straight up action film. I'm gonna go into some of the things I actually liked about this film. Ronda Rousey happens to be in this movie, and we've all sort of goofed on her because in her one role in Fast and Furious, she did not have the best speaking line. She's turned it around. I'm not saying she's a great actress, but she's now suitable and good enough to be a side character. I enjoyed what she brought to the table. I didn't mind her at all, and I actually thought she was a nice addition to this task force. Along with that, another powerful actress added to the film, Lauren Cohan. Much of us know her from The Walking Dead. Not anymore anyways. I'm happy that she's getting this transition into the big screen because she is a great actress, and she shows sort of her range as an action star in this film. She wasn't given a lot of material to work with acting-wise, but when it came to the action, she was believable, and I took her as a badass. Putting those people aside though, by far, the person who stole this movie by a mile, Iko Uwais, the guy from the Raid, killed it in this movie. Is the whole point you're gonna go see this movie is just for this guy. Really want to highlight how amazing Iko is in this film, because there was times I was watching this movie and I wanted him just to be the main character. I wanted us only to follow him, his story, his background, this veteran cop who's got a secret and sort of against his country and just wants to be let out by giving out these secrets. I kind of liked him along his journey, and his action scenes, brutal and fun to watch. There was an interview the director gave how he thought it was really important to keep the R rating, and in the first 40 minutes of the film, I'm thinking, they just wanted this R rating so all these actors can say the F word over and over. And I hate when a film goes R rated and just does that. That doesn't justify the R rating to me. But then when you get to that action scene and that one in the medical room with Iko's character, you understand why it's R rated and you appreciate that, because we don't get to see that much gore and violence in an action film nowadays. A lot of stuff is very censored and toned down so they can get that PG-13 rating to expand to a wider audience, which is something I understand. You gotta get your money's worth, but it's also nice to see these movies that take that R rating and go all the way with it. And it's a nice, refreshing sort of change of pace. But getting straight into the negatives and the downfall to this movie, I'll say it, the main character, Mark Wahlberg, is unlikable. They purposely set him up to be a douchebag. The first 2 minutes of this film is explaining why Mark Wahlberg is a douchebag in this film. He is much like a person like in The Accountant with Ben Affleck, or James McAvoy's character from Wanted. He has this disability or learning disorder that makes him so good at fighting and shooting guns, but a side effect to that is that he's angry all the time and he's an asshole. They set that up in the first 2 minutes and you get to see that play out. He's a dick to his crew members, he's a dick to people, and he's got this weird quirk where he's always walking around doing this with his wristband. I can't even do it. There we go. I looked through 5 drawers in my house just so I can do that for you guys. You're welcome. He's really as one-dimensional as they come, and I think the only reason they added this whole wristband thing was to be like, no, there's more to him. This is a constant reminder of his disorder. He prefers pain. Every time he's doing that, he's holding back his anger. It was an excuse to add a little layer of depth to this character that really doesn't have much layer to begin with. And being that he's the main driving force, it kind of holds the film back. I actually really like better the Lauren Cohen character, the Ronda Rousey, and especially Iko's character. Mark Wahlberg kind of held this film back, and it's mainly because of the way his character was written. Nothing against Mark Wahlberg. He's a great actor and I love him in all his movies, but in this film, they really held him back. Along with that, I'm also going to mention they have some horrible, choppy editing in this film. The same way I edit my videos where it's almost every other sentence I'm cutting. This film does that with every other sentence. And because of that, they implement it to all the action scenes. So the beautiful action scenes that have Iko Uwais in them are horribly all mistreated because of the constant cutting. We're going back to the early 2000s way of shooting action films by cutting and cutting and cutting, which I'm so surprised because I thought we were past all that. Punch after punch is cut after cut and your brain can't keep up with its watching. Right when it focuses on where the characters are and how they're fighting, they cut and then they're in a completely different position and it throws your brain off and you're ruining this beautiful choreography that Iko set up, or whoever the stunt director was. Along with that, Iko is the only one who does hand-to-hand combat in the film. Every other person just has the boring shoot 'em up. Mark Wahlberg has like 2 punches in the film before he just grabs his gun and kills somebody and goes, yeah, that's all the action I got in me. Iko, you got the rest. Poor character development with Mark Wahlberg, horrible editing, and ruining of great action scenes that you have in this movie. I'm actually going to go out and say that this is my least favorite Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg collaboration. If I had to rank them, it would be Mile 22, Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, Patriots Day. That's the way I would rank their movies. Your ranking might be different, and that's totally fine. Nothing's wrong with Lone Survivor or any other ones after that, but I do think this is the lower quality one. And last thing I'll say, I'm not going to spoil it, but there is sort of a twist ending that kind of saves the film and bumps it up. That influences my ending recommendation for the film. But along with that, they also set it up for a sequel that, because of how badly they mishandled Mark Wahlberg's character, but how awesome Iko's character is, I'm conflicted whether I would even care to see a sequel. Alright, so for Mile 22, I'm gonna give action 3 stars. Like I said, there's some beautiful choreography done in this movie that I wish was handled properly by camera editing, but because it wasn't, I'm gonna give it the average 3-star rating. Comedy in the film, I'm gonna give it 1.5 stars. There are some jokes, but with the choppy editing, you actually miss a few of them just because everything goes by so fast. Drama in the film, I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. That half star really is just for the twist ending. Other than that, the premise is just very simple. Get a guy from point A to point B so you can get information out of him. Horror in the film, I'm gonna give it 0.5 star, and that's because of the blood, the guts, the bone breaking that just makes this film awesome, but might make it a little queasy for the faint of the stomach. Suspense in the film, I'm gonna give it 2 stars. There wasn't really anything here building up except for those last 3 minutes of the film where everything sort of wraps up. Casual fans, I'm gonna give it an A-. Cinephiles, I'm gonna give it a B-. And critically, I'm gonna give it a C-. So by the slightest margins, I'm gonna recommend you watch Mile 22 in theaters. That's just my opinion on the film, guys. Let me know what you thought about it if you got around to see it. Like I said, rank down below, comment. Tell me what's your favorite Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg collaboration. Any questions or thoughts you had on the film, please comment. I will reply to everybody who does it. Also, be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Thank you, guys. And until next time, take care.